What's up, guys, and welcome to the maci full training series. So first we have to ask, what is maci? Maci is designed to be an easy-to-use library for data serialization, and maci itself is a Python-styled serialization language and provides thin wrappers to libraries to make it a lot easier to handle your serialized data. Now, maci itself parses native Python-styled data types from any plain text file, which can be a lot safer than using a .py file for your stored configuration data or saved data. So with that said, you can write normal Python-style data types in a plain file and load it as your configuration data, without the worry of code execution. Maci also introduces useful features that you'll be able to see later in this series, where you can load stored data from a file back into your class objects, or you can create realistic-like constants, or even create realistic-like pointers for some of your attributes on your maci object. But like mentioned before, maci also offers thin wrapper functions to other libraries as well, like JSON, YAML, TOML, XML, and ini or ini, which also allows you to parse CONF files or CFG files. And all of this together kind of gives you a Swiss Army knife or one location for handling your serialized data. Now you may find the full documentation at docs.macilib.org, which gives you all the detailed and consistently updated documentation as things change or get updated. At the time of this recording, we're currently on maci version 1.0.0. Please visit that site, especially when new patches and updates come out. You may also find the source code for the project here at Airinator10/maci on github.com. And if you want to contribute, you can find the contributing guide as well. Now, all the sections we're going to cover in this series is first, learning its language, its API functions, the maci data object itself, understanding the errors, the hints or the type annotations, and some of the extra tools you can use. And then once we get to the thin wrapper function section, we're going to be talking about processing JSON, YAML, TOML, ini or conf or CFG data, XML, and even some pickle data. Now let's go ahead and dive into installing maci and see the different flavor of installs you can run. So if you didn't notice already, we're going to be operating out of VS Code. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring up my terminal here. And right now I'm in a virtual environment, just so I can show you the different install flavors. So I'm just going to run python 3-m pip install maci. Now if I just install maci itself, this will give me everything. This will give me access to all the functions for maci itself, for the standard library, and the third-party functions. Let's go ahead and run that. So now that it's installed, I'll go ahead and import it. And when you hover over the module here, you'll be able to see which flavor you're currently running. Currently it's running maci, which is the full version. And so what I mean by the full version, let me go ahead and access all the functions here. You'll see all the built-in ones, which don't have any prepended names for specific third-party names. And you can kind of tell just by seeing, all right, there's ini, there's JSON, there's maci-specific ones, there's pickle, there's TOML, XML, YAML, and all the different flavors there. And there's actually two different kinds of XML, and that's explained in the XML section, but you see what I mean. But that's how you go ahead and install maci, pretty straightforward. Now if I go ahead and uninstall maci, we'll try another flavor. Okay, so now in order to uninstall another flavor, we're going to pick the std, which will install maci, but only give you thin function access to the standard library versions only. So if you're in an environment that doesn't allow you to install any additional packages except for maci, you can still at least get access to some of the underlying functionality that's supported from Python standard library. So I'll go ahead and run that. And we might need to reload our window. Actually, we didn't have to. So as you can see, when you hover over it, now the flavor is changed, and now it's showing maci's standard library version. So if we access the dot notation there, scroll through, we still see all the normal maci stuff, but now we see ini, which is just accessing the config parser, We still have our JSON, which is accessing the JSON library. We still have pickle. We have less XML options, but as you can see, we don't have the YAML or TOML. So that's just something to kind of point out. But if you're ever unsure, you can always see the doc string and see what flavor you're running. Or of course, you can check pip to see which version of maci you're running. But either way, you're still just going to import maci itself, and you don't have to specify like _std or anything. So let's go ahead and do the last one. We'll go ahead and uninstall the standard version there. And now the last one, if you're just interested in having maci only and don't care about the other thin API functions and you want to keep it lightweight, you simply can just type maci only. So if we just install that, we're just installing maci only. And now, if we hover over this, you see the flavor has changed now and is showing maci only. So now if we access the dot notation here and scroll through this, we see none of them, even the standard library ones, are gone. And we're just getting the maci only functionality, which can be helpful if you want to keep it more lightweight. But that's it. That's how you install maci and import it, and that's all the different flavor options. I hope all of this has made sense to you, and I look forward to walking you through the maci library in this series. Now you might be asking, why is it called maci? Well, that's just a secret you'll have to find out someday. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.